Hello everyone, welcome back to Strategic Management class. In this video, we are going to learn about strategy execution. In the previous modules and videos, you have learned about how to evaluate your business practice, and then you're trying to select different alternatives, different types of business strategies. You're trying to formulate the strategy. Now, the next step after formulating and planning, it means nothing if you're not doing anything. It means nothing if you're not implementing the strategy, and therefore we need to execute the strategy. Now, strategy execution is not as simple as having a plan and doing it just like what the plan has said. There is always a gap between what is being planned and when you're doing it. I would encourage you to watch a video by TEDx in the link in eLearn. You can take a look at that video first and then come back to this video. There is always a gap between what has been planned and when you're doing it. Everything will not be as perfect as you plan. But then the question is, why do we need to plan anyway? The first answer is actually, if you're not well prepared, you will not know what to do in the future. So it's better for you to have a plan and you prepare what we call as contingency plan. It means like a plan B, plan C, and plan D. So you're trying to figure out a different scheme or different situation that might happen, and you have a backup plan. And there is also a new phenomenon that is called emergent strategy. It means that strategy that comes up when there is a change or there is something happening within the current situation, which leads you to have a slightly different approach in order for you to achieve your objectives and goals stated in the strategic plan. So the key point of strategy execution is actually doing it. And when you implement the tactics that has been stated in the strategic plan, always try to figure out what is doing well, what is not doing well, and how you can take a corrective action if something is not doing as what you have planned. Apart from this situation and these challenges, there are also other concerns or other aspects that you need to take into consideration. The first one is that you need to know that each departments or each functions have different roles. For example, in a small business and also in a large business, companies will have different functions such as marketing, finance, human resource, operations, and other companies might have research and development or other fancy departments if they have the resources to do so. These departments have different roles, but they need to know that they're working towards the same or the common objectives and goals of the company. You need to make sure that all of the departments are working together, not against each other. Even if, for example, marketing will always try to increase sales through a lot of advertising, which might be in contradictory with the finance department, which will always try to reduce the cost. So you can see some departments might have conflicts within each other, but if this conflict is within a normal range or within a very constructive and positive environment, this is still okay. If they are not aware of the strategic plan of the company, then they might not follow the same objectives and goals. Another thing that you need to take into consideration is that the creation and also the use of policy. Policy here refers to specific guidelines, methods, procedures, rules, forms, and administrative practices established to support and encourage work toward the stated goals. So when you have a new strategic plan, when you have a new strategies for the company, top management level need to know where the company situation is at the moment. If there is any rules and regulations or policy that is working against the new strategy, then the top management level need to create new policies to help ensure the flow and make sure that the strategy execution is will be done smoothly. So the basis for management control is actually to allow coordination across organizational departments and units and reduce the amount of time for managers to spend making decisions. And with the policy that is set by the top management level, this will help all units to be more clear and also to know the boundaries and limitations of what work needs to be done and who should do the work. In addition, a good set of policy by the top management level, it can also promote delegation, and this delegation will help the flow of the company to be less bureaucratic, and this will also promote the company to induce what we call organization citizenship behavior, and to make sure that whatever changes in the structure will match the strategy that has been planned out in the strategic plan. Another part that needs to be considered is what we call resource allocation. As we learned from previous videos, we learned that resource is finite. It is something that is scarce for some type of resources. For other types of resources, it might be quite hard to obtain. So it's not free flow for everyone. So resource allocation is a central management activity that allows for strategy execution. This is the art of strategy where companies can manage their resources, how to allocate them with the right timing, with the right amount, and to whom the resource is being allocated to. You can use policies in order to regulate where the resources will be allocated. For example, if a company has a limited budget for the year of 2023, for example, the company has 2 product lines. Then the top management need to have a policy on the capital or the budget allocation, how many percentage goes to product line A, how many percentage goes to product line B. And the basis of how much budget being allocated will be according to the business practice analysis as well, and will be according to other judgment from the top management level. And finally, there is another aspect that companies need to consider, and that is internal obstacles and also external obstacles. From internal obstacles, companies need to think about the organization structure itself, whether the organization structure will cause any conflicts if a new strategy is being implemented. Are there some people who are resisting to change, who might hinder the success of the strategy execution? This relates to organizational culture, how you maintain your staff, your employees, and also think about managerial opportunism, that is what we call self-interest, that is seeking of self-interest within guile or cunning or deceits. And the other side is the external obstacles, which is something that we cannot control, that is from the macro environment, that can also be from the industry, that can also be a force majeure. So guys, strategy execution is not as simple as you think, but the first step to strategy execution is to actually do it and pivot as you go. That is all about strategy execution. We will discuss more in the following videos.